the worst TV show of the year, an unmitigated disaster. On Rotten Tomatoes, it launched with a critic score of just 3%. By every traditional measure, Kim Kardashian's new legal drama, All's Fair, should be a complete and total flop.
Now, my eyes bled a little when I got a gander at this piece of high art, but that's just me.
So, why can't people stop watching it? In its first 3 days, All's Fair pulled in 3.2 million global views, making it Hulu's biggest scripted series debut in 3 years. It generated a reported 7 billion social media impressions, and in a move that seems to defy all critical logic, Hulu renewed it for a second season before the first one even finished airing. Critics are calling it one of the worst performances of the year. So why is it one of the most watched shows of the year? That is the paradox we need to talk about. This is the Kim K TV paradox, and we're going to figure out what's really going on. To get the paradox, you first have to understand the sheer scale of the critical backlash. This wasn't just a few reviewers not liking a show, this was a unified, brutal takedown. The consensus was clear. Kim Kardashian's starring role as high-powered divorce attorney Allura Grant is a disaster. Reviewers from major publications used words like lifeless, expressionless, stiff, and monotone to describe her performance.
This moment. I always knew this exact moment would darken my doorstep, and here it is.
The general feeling was that you never for a second forget that you're watching Kardashian with a delivery that feels stilted and bland.
Chase is going to whose house?
Good question. Whose house has Chase been going to? My mother, growing up, was,
How is this even happening right now? Am I that stupid?
Can I think about it?
Take your time.
I've thought about it. Yeah.
The argument is that she approaches her lines like she's selling a product, making it impossible to buy her as the character she's supposed to be playing. And it wasn't just about her. Even with a powerhouse cast including Naomi Watts, Sarah Paulson, and the legendary Glenn Close, critics felt the show itself was fundamentally broken. They called the plotlines dismal and the dialogue painfully awful. At launch, the show had that 3% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and a Metacritic score that hovered in the low teens, not to mention an IMDb rating of 3.1 out of 10. From a traditional artistic standpoint, the critics are making a completely valid argument. They're trained to evaluate performance, writing, and direction. They look for emotional depth, character development, and screen presence. Based on those metrics, they concluded that All's Fair fails on almost every level. For them, it's not just bad television, it's a baffling waste of an A-list cast and a massive budget. So, if the show is an undisputed critical train wreck, why is it a massive commercial hit? Because the audience saw something completely different. While critics were writing their scathing reviews, millions of people were tuning in. All's Fair didn't just get decent ratings. It became Hulu's biggest original scripted premiere in 3 years, outperforming major titles.
Whoa, relax.
The numbers online are even more staggering. The show has generated a reported 7 billion social media impressions and 190 million video views, hitting a level of cultural buzz that most networks can only dream of. And on Rotten Tomatoes, the divide is crystal clear. While critics gave it that 3% score, the audience score holds strong at 66%. Fans on social media admit to being obsessed, even while acknowledging the show's flaws. The online discourse is a fascinating mix of genuine enjoyment, ironic fascination, and endless memes. And at the center of it all is Kim Kardashian herself.
This one's a keeper.
Instead of shying away from the bad press, she's leaned into it, reposting negative reviews with sarcastic captions and celebrating the show's massive viewership. It's a masterful move that highlights the exact disconnect we're talking about. The critics can say whatever they want, but the people are watching. This wasn't a quiet success. It was a loud, defiant, and record-breaking hit that was renewed for a second season almost immediately. The question is no longer if it's successful, the question is why. This Kim K TV paradox isn't really about a simple disagreement between critics and fans. It's not about one group being right and the other wrong. This reveals a fundamental shift in what we look for in our entertainment. The critics and the audience aren't just watching the same show differently, they're watching two different shows entirely. First, there's the power of the brand. People aren't tuning in to watch All's Fair, the legal drama. They are tuning in to watch the Kim Kardashian show.
Kendall's gonna make it right at the end. It's just like craziness. So I thought, why not just show the craziness of our family? We're just gonna do candid pictures and we can post them for the 25 days of Christmas.
For over a decade, we have watched her life unfold on reality TV. We've seen her build a business empire, navigate family drama, and become one of the most famous people on the planet. Her entire career is built on the premise that her life is the performance. So when she plays a high-powered, glamorous lawyer in a Ryan Murphy production, audience don't see a failed attempt at acting. They see the next logical extension of the Kim K brand. They aren't looking for Meryl Streep's emotional range. They're looking for the spectacle of Kim K in a new, glossy setting. Critics judge her against the standards of traditional acting, but the audience is judging her against the standards of modern celebrity. And in that arena, she is delivering exactly what they came for.
That experience is not custom tailored, it's mass produced. One size fits all, sold to dozens of naive women apparently.
The second factor is the evolution of the hate watch. In the social media era, watching something you think is bad is no longer a waste of time. It's a ticket to a global conversation. A show being a train wreck is a feature, not a bug. It's an opportunity to join the communal experience of live tweeting, making TikToks, and sharing memes about the most absurd moments. Many viewers openly admit to watching ironically. They are drawn to the glossy extravagance and Ryan Murphy's signature melodrama, even if they find it ridiculous. A show's ability to spark online discourse is precisely what makes it so valuable. This is the modern attention economy, where even negative engagement contributes to a show's cultural impact. The more critics call it a disaster, the more people feel an urge to see the disaster for themselves. The show itself is just the appetizer. The main course is the conversation happening online. And this leads to the biggest reason for the paradox. The lines of media have blurred. Critics are still largely judging a television show as a self-contained piece of art. They evaluate the 45-minute episode based on its script and performances. But the audience isn't just consuming the episode. They are consuming a multi-platform cultural event. The real show isn't just what happens on Hulu, it's the show itself. Plus Kim's sarcastic Instagram posts, the fan edits on TikTok, the video essays on YouTube, and the endless debates on Twitter. It's an entire ecosystem of content, and the television program is just one part of it. In the end, the Kim K TV paradox isn't really a paradox at all.
There's one cold, hard truth.
It's a reflection of our current media landscape. It shows a widening gap between old guard criticism and modern audience engagement. It's not that the critics are wrong. From their perspective, they're absolutely right. Her performance likely doesn't meet the standards of classical acting. But the bigger story is that they might be answering a question that the audience is no longer asking. But what do you think? Did you watch All's Fair? Was it a guilty pleasure, a genuine hit, or a train wreck you just couldn't look away from? Let me know your take in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to see where you all land on this.